My leg fell off.
Oh, they may be playing football, and the crowd is yelling, kill the referee. But no matter what the score, when the clock strikes 4, everything stops for tea.
Hi, and welcome to Spill the Show. Spill the Show? That's a good start, isn't it?
It's a great start.
I already know it's going to be one of those shows.
Yeah, it's a good
Take
time.
2. Hi, and welcome to Spill the Tea, the show for British expats and everybody that loves all things British. I'm Ian, I think.
He's Ian and I'm Sam. And on today's show, what do we have? We've got BFF with our Eve Dawes. We've also got Out and About with Ali and Bassist extraordinaire, Bill.
See?
Phil,
There you
Soussan.
go.
Oh my gosh, it is going to be one of those days. Good morning.
is.
Well, it's already started bizarre for me. 45 minutes to get here. Why can't people drive? It's easy.
You'd think.
Get on the 250, get off the 250. Use your eyes, use your signal. That's it.
So you just turned up about 5 minutes ago.
Literally. I've got a bit of a dab on.
You don't. Well, I mean, actually, going the other end of the scale, Travis. Hi, Travis. Good morning. How you doing?
Hold on, it took me a second. Hey guys, this is an interesting angle,
That's
isn't
all
it?
the fancy angle.
It
I
is
like
a
that.
fancy
You can
angle.
see our
Oh
rig
yeah,
here.
all the thing.
I like
so
that.
You've been here early. You got here like super early this morning, right?
I got here at 6:30.
Oh,
in the
because you
morning.
started.
And you've already done a show
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, we've done like a show that goes on Zoom, not live.
Nice.
It's really cool. We're doing that stuff now.
Very good. It's,
So, yes.
it's the future. Oh, I haven't even seen my outfit today. From the waist down, it's creased because I've been sat in the car so long with the seatbelt on.
It's very, I don't know, sort of.
I'm going to bless you.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. It's good that you said that.
What's that thing you swing with the smoke?
Yeah, that's right. I've learned these things. If I make kind of any observation, it's really bad. It's better that you make the observation
Yes.
and I back it up.
Right, because let me tell you something. A couple of years ago, we had a big lunch with a load of friends, and I was wearing some silver brogues.
Right.
And my friends wanted to mock me with my silver brogues. And you know what I said to everyone? I am the only fashionable person at this
Exactly.
table. And they thought it was the funniest thing that I would even say that. But it's true. A lot of them hadn't even stepped foot in. What the heck?
That's the volume.
Oh, a lot of them hadn't even stepped into H&M. That's for your basics. They hadn't even stepped into H&M.
Oh,
So,
well, look at that.
believe it or not, though, this is a Target dress.
Is it now?
It is. It's a little Target number. I'm not scared of fashion. I wear what I like. I'm not like everybody else. I'm not a uniform kind of girl. That used to mortify me if I worked anywhere and they said, well, we have a uniform. No, I'm not like everybody else. I can't look like everybody else.
I hear you.
But those same friends mocked me a couple of weeks ago about my floral dresses.
I'm surprised they're still alive.
And I'm going to, maybe on next week's show,
Yeah.
show them how to rock a floral dress.
Rock a
Big time.
floral.
Rock a floral.
Well, I do know that Eve's BFF today is 6 ways of wearing a shirt.
Well, you see, I like that. I do like that. I like a new way to like repurpose something in my closet.
Fair enough.
Because I'm already thinking how I can wear this for winter. You know what I'm going to do?
I'm just curious what
I'd
the
wear
other
black
5 are.
tights and a black shoe.
Oh, look at you.
And a black
Who
hat.
we got on? Come, just we'll leave that up to her when she gets to it. Who we got this morning? Mick, good morning, troops. He says. Catherine says, good morning, all. Sarah, hello. Mike, good day, all. And Claire's watching, and Jean is watching, and Rachel's watching, and my mum's watching,
Sarah!
and everybody's watching. So yes, I've lost my point.
It's rubbing off from me to you.
I think it
Just
is.
can't remember it.
You're a bit more present these days.
You think? Because I don't feel like it today.
You know?
There are days I don't remember if I've eaten. And I don't remember if I've had a shower. I look for a wet towel. I'm like, oh, I must have had a shower today.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I have to ask Jim, have I eaten? Yes. Well, what did I eat? And he'll tell me.
I know what I was going to say.
Go on.
I got a surprise.
You did?
Well, it's more than a surprise. It's an unveiling.
Oh, my. Have we done an unveiling before?
Well, what do you think this is in the middle of
Well,
the
I
table?
don't know, actually. I thought, what the heck is that folded up flag
It's
there
a folded
for?
up flag, but it's concealing something, everybody. It's concealing our new Spill the Tea teapot,
Oh, yay!
which you wouldn't know about because you got here 5 minutes before the show.
I know. Oh.
So, would you like to do the honours?
I'll do the... I'm
Or
not...
should I just
Do it-
gradually?
Can you do like a...
Yeah, we've even got a teapot cam.
Have we?
We have. Look. So are you ready? We need to have like a little.
Do we have a drum roll? Do we have a sound effect? Drum roll sound effect.
I don't know if we do.
All right. Here's the reveal.
All right, here we go. And in 3, 2, 1. Oh, hopefully it'll stay there. And
Ah, yay!
there it is.
With the tag and all. Oh, I thought she was approving it. It's probably
Is that not an approval
it's probably
by,
because it's not China.
by her Madge?
That
Well,
is
maybe not.
The
that is-
match.
That's the ultimate approval.
That's the ultimate approval. So there you go. That is our new
Da, 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 da.
spill the tea. It's very red, isn't it?
It is. It looks fabulous.
But I even made the little tea bag thing.
I
there,
like that.
Like that's on the logo.
It's all about the details, isn't it?
It is. It is. Oh, look at that. See, look. And actually, I
a
think and we've
teapot.
had that logo for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think I found the exact teapot.
I think it does look exactly like the logo.
I think it's the one.
I love that.
So is what it is. Look at that.
There you go. Spill the tea.
right, all
New
that-
season.
All that camera set up was just for that shot. We're not going to use that camera
it's worth
any other
it.
time.
It's-
We might just cut back to teapot cam.
It's so worth
There you
it.
go.
Since the Queen approves, did you know that the Queen can play chess?
No, Sam.
Ha ha!
I didn't.
Let me show you. A moment of tension in the Vatican. If the bishop moves forward, the Queen can take him. Are you looking, Ian?
I'm looking. I know. I've actually seen that one
Isn't that
before.
great?
It is very funny. I do like that one.
I love that.
Yeah.
What else have you been up to?
I'm still looking at the comments. Who we got? Everybody's loving it. See, look, people are loving the teapot.
It's great, isn't it?
I do love that. And if you are watching for the first time, as we always say, where have you been? We're on show
where have you been?
55 at this point. And welcome. If you are watching for the first time, we're sort of getting up to speed. It's been a bit of a morning, I guess, for everybody, and
Yeah.
I just didn't even think about getting into gear yet. So this is Spill the Tea, and so if you'd like to follow us and like us and let us know where you're watching from, we would love to be able to let everybody else know where you're watching from. And actually, incidentally, while I'm on that subject, we had a request this week from a group who actually wanted to have our show on their page. Most of the pages we sort of just share because we're a sharing kind of show. So
are.
and hopefully they keep it on their page. But actually, Germany expats
Oh, nice.
sent us a message and said, we'd like for you to share your show on the page.
That's wonderful.
So yes, so we are now on Germany expats. So thanks for having us.
Do you speak German at all?
9.
Did you have to learn German at school?
9.
You didn't? We did.
No, French.
We had that too. And Spanish.
No, I obviously just went to a crappy school.
I don't know many
Stanley
words.
Park High School in actually it's in Wallington. Oh, Amanda needs her phone back. We're switching phones.
She's like, give me my phone.
All right.
All I know is das ist ein Kugelschreiber.
That's easy for you to say.
I know
just
it's Ich lebe dich.
It sounds delicious.
Or the Kleinenbugel?
What is it?
Kleinenbugel?
Kleinenbugel.
What's a Kleinenbugel?
Oh, is it?
It's a hanger. For your clothes. A Kleinenbugel.
Kleinenbugel. I think mine's a pen or a pencil. Das ist, I have a pencil. I have a pen. I have a... Are you leaving us? Bye.
Yeah. You out? I've got a picture of you coming up later on, but you won't be here.
Ian and I do not need a squirrel to distract us, by the way.
I'm excited to have Phil on today. We're following on from our kind of rock and roll sort of vibe of last week with Claire Jane
And your leggings.
and my leggings.
Oh, I laughed so hard. Watch back on the show, and I laughed so hard with you, those leggings. And just the way that you opened the show was hilarious.
I'm not sure what that was about.
I didn't even notice it until I watched it back. So if you missed last week's show and you missed Ian's legs, then I'm looking at the wrong camera. If I look cross-eyed, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Then go back to last week's show. We keep all the shows up so you can always go back. So we do have quite a few people that go, oh, I missed it live. And I'm like, no, go back and watch it. It's still there.
I'm really about the comments today. Just so you know.
I love it when my nose is running.
We've got Jen Ward, who's I don't know if she's from Liverpool or watching in Liverpool, but either way, that's a good thing.
I can hear myself.
Oh, good Lord. The volume's up again. That's 2 phones. Mick Burns, are you going to the curry leaf tonight, Ian?
I'm not. You weren't invited.
No, I was invited. I'm not sure.
I'm busy.
I might be.
I got plans.
Trevor, afternoon, folks. Hannah, she's watching from Wiltshire in the UK.
Lovely.
Well, it's nice to have
How's
you.
the weather right
Hannah.
now? Because I know you had a nice warm spell. And what's happening now?
And then Trevor's in Clearwater, Florida, so he's probably in a slightly better place. Weather-wise, can't beat Wiltshire, obviously.
Oh, wait, hang on. Mark Hughes speaks German. Let me see if I can...
All right.
Was Florine schon Tikan? I don't know. That's probably wrong, but it means, what a nice teapot.
There you go. Andy's loving the podcast and Brit living here in Tampa. Nice. You know, this says the British Expat podcast.
We are on the same level.
And we really should probably... The only thing that makes this a podcast are these microphones, honestly.
Well, and the fact
But
that
look,
we do... It does go up as a podcast,
and
but...
that graphic we did right at the beginning.
And
then we changed it to show.
we need to... We've morphed a little bit.
And on these too, look.
Yeah.
I just noticed.
And we don't want to confuse. We don't want to confuse people.
No.
We don't want to compute. I'll start using that now for the rest of my life.
Sure.
Confuse. It's like my sister uses this word. Well, she'll say to me, Timmy River. And I'll say, it is. I won't say what. It's 12 minutes past 10. Timmy River means what time is it in our family? It has done for a really long time.
Look, Stella.
Argentina!
Stella's watching from Argentina. Do we have Argentina on our map?
I don't think we do.
I'm going to have a
Let's do it.
Hold on.
So in case you don't know about this, we have this beautiful globe, and we don't just stick any old pin on it. We put diamantes on it because without fancy.
No, we don't.
Yes, we got a new edition.
And today, I have sparkles right here on the desk. So I am going to add Argentina to our globe.
There's a place in Africa called Chad.
Yes, that's right.
I've never heard of it.
You haven't?
Oh, there's a place called China. I've never heard of it.
Stella, whereabouts in Argentina? I want to make sure that I'm getting the or where's it near? If you give me a small town, it's probably not going to be on this globe. So I'm going to hold that right here, and Stella's going to tell us whereabouts in Argentina. By contrast, Adam Lieberman is watching all the way from Summerlin right here in Las Vegas. You don't get a sticker. You've already got one. It's that big one right there,
that
sticking
big
out
giant
above
one.
the teapot. You qualify within that. Yonkers, New York. Oh my gosh, look at all these people.
Got a grey skies, as Hannah. Grey skies. It started off nice and then went a little downhill.
Yeah.
Hi, Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
All right. Anyway,
Tiger. That is a great name. Tiger. Tiger's on here.
that's my middle name. Actually, I don't have a middle name.
Neither do I.
Don't you?
No.
I didn't know that.
I have a hyphenated name, though.
Well, you do. But
So much fun, with an apostrophe and a hyphen.
I don't have a middle name because my mum didn't give either of my older brothers, middle names either. So there was no chance I was going to get one.
None of us girls have it. All 5 girls, no one has a middle name.
That's unusual, right?
I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
Well, I guess not for you and I.
Nope.
But is there a reason for that, or just your mum was lazy?
She probably had enough after having 5 girls. The twins showed up. Like, forget it. Well, in
Middle
fact,
names.
we're named after. I'm named after Samantha from Bewitched,
Oh,
and her groovy cousin in the show, Serena, is my twin.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
we actually have a friend called Tabitha. Believe it or not, we do. Honestly, I love that show. My namesake.
David's just saying, what time is Phil Soussan on? Get to the point.
That's my brother-in-law.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, you can be patient. We can't just throw it all out there at the
We
beginning
got
of
to
the show.
build it up. The
We'd have no
excitement
show.
of Phil. We wouldn't have a show. Right?
We wouldn't have a show. We're still waiting to put a thing on the globe here.
Right, so let's do a couple of our ridiculous memes like we normally do. So I know you've got a big lockdown coming. I think it's mid-October, and you won't come out of that till November. And so we have this meme with Doctor Who. Do we have? That's what's going to... When you come out of lockdown, that's what it's going to be like.
Exterminate.
Oh,
Exterminate.
you know about Doctor Who?
Yeah, I watched
Travis
a lot of the
knows.
series.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's really good.
Right up until the point where they started flying,
Yeah.
and then they lost me. Daleks don't
Who
fly.
was scared when the music came on for Doctor Who? We used to hide behind the sofa. I can't speak today. I was all calm this morning until I got in traffic. There was a big accident, and it took me forever to get here. And then you know how that goes. Gets you all a bit wound up. Shall I do another one? Jim had a fun T-shirt on this past weekend.
Yes.
Look at that, Ian. Sax symbol. Jim plays saxophone. He's a sax symbol.
That's a nice picture.
Yeah. Look at him smiling. Look at all those teeth. That's as much as you're going to get from Jim. Trust me, he does not like having his photo taken.
Ha.
Oh, and just to cover, remember last week we had Claire Jane on, and she was showing us all her clothing and also her custom feather bags. And remember I said that you modelled those handbags? Well, we have the proof of your modelling days for ICJ UK. You, Ian, Andy, what's his name? I've forgotten his name on the left. I ain't seen him forever.
I don't know.
Look how nicely they're modelling those feather bags. Your face is great.
That was
the
my
finger,
model look.
One finger, just the finger.
Oh, yeah.
That's proof.
How many years ago was that?
Gosh, that's when Claire Jane was an emerging designer with Zappos, and that was the big launch.
So that was like 10 years ago?
That
or
was at
11 years ago?
Il Molino at Caesars.
It looks like 11 years ago.
Do you have days where you feel like you look older than other days?
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Like, what is happening? Some days I'm like, I'm not leaving the house today. I look 39 today. I look too old.
So Stella says BSAS in Argentina. So I was thinking BA would be Buenos Aires, but I don't know what BSAS. Maybe she's just making a comment about what she feels this show is all about. It's BSAS. Well, I'm going to go with Buenos Aires just because I've decided.
Is that an acronym for Buenos Aires? Buenos Aires?
Well, I think BA is, or maybe S is.
Could be.
I don't know, but you got one right there.
8 years ago, Claire Jane said. 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
So do you want to know what I did on the weekend, since you're not going to ask me? Shall I tell you?
What'd you do on the weekend, Sam?
Let's show you what I did on the weekend. Here we go. The weekend started with a blue blossom latte made from butterfly pea tea with some coconut and honey, and it's delicious. Then a little bit of journaling in my Be Happy, Get Buzzed About Life journal. Now you've noticed my teeny tiny, delicate hands. They are sometimes difficult to do simple tasks like writing and eating food, but I do my very, very best with my tiny hands. And then I love to clap my little hands. The weekend started with a blue blossom latte made from butterfly pea tea with some coconut and honey, and it's delicious. Then a little bit of journaling in my Be Happy, Get Buzzed. Don't you know about tiny hands?
You know, usually I watch stuff before it actually goes
I know.
out on
I'm
the show.
glad you didn't. I'm so glad you didn't. Do you know about tiny hands? You don't know about tiny hands?
No.
Oh my
No.
gosh, it's a thing. Get with it. Get on TikTok. Get on TikTok. Do you like my tiny hands?
No. I mean, yes, but
They're only 3 inches big. You know, the funny thing is,
That's
I
so
posted
bizarre.
a video yesterday of the tea, which that tea is blue, by the way. It is blue blossom. And it is butterfly pea tea. No, butterfly pea tea. And it has coconut and honey in it. It's a really good drink, but people thought they were my hands. They were scared to laugh in case they were my hands.
well, I'm gonna. I don't know.
Well, you don't know the thing I have with hands, though, do you?
No.
No, yeah, there's more to come. There's more.
Oh, can't wait.
So
A whole series
So
of
that
it.
was my weekend. I love to go and have a little coffee, a little chit chat with my Jim, a little journaling, things like, well, now it's not journaling, it's just lists of how to remember everything
Well,
because I
there you
can't
go.
remember a single
Exactly,
thing.
exactly.
Gardening is a big thing for me. And yeah, nice weekend. And I love a garden centre. But why do the garden centres here not have coffee shops attached to them? Why not?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, I love back home. You can buy some plants, have a little coffee, or have a coffee, go buy some plants. It needs to happen. It's a great concept. So
You're,
obviously Ian did not like my little hands.
No. No, it was.
I did creep a few people out with
Apparently so. Well, moving swiftly on then, I'm going to get to,
the freaky.
let's get to Checker Day.
Yeah.
Alrighty, here it is, everyone. You ready?
Yes.
It's Checker Day.
Whoa.
The day where we check what's happening on today. Checker Day. Back to you, Ian.
Oh gosh, I bet Phil's
Thank you,
just
Travis.
cringing down back there because he's
Nice.
like, oh.
I think Travis has got the rock vibe going on today.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
It's Checker Day, everybody. The day where we just, as Travis said, we check what's happening on the internet on this day today, and it's Broadway Musicals Day. Well, which there aren't any.
There aren't any happening.
But it should be a Broadway Musicals Day. It's Confucius Day.
That's me. That's my day.
That's your day.
That's my day.
Confucius say. It's Goose Day. I'm not sure if you get goose or it's just to celebrate geese. One of the two. It's Michaelmas.
It's what?
Michaelmas.
What's that?
Also known as the... thanks for asking. Also known as the Feast of St. Michael and All Angels. Michaelmas is a Christian festival celebrated by some Western churches.
Never heard of it. Oh, you
There you
see,
go.
that's why I put my little choir boy outfit on today.
It's National Attend Your Grandchild's Birthday Day. So if you happen to have a grandchild whose birthday it is today, go attend
and if
it.
you need a reminder, that's sad.
Yeah, well, yeah. National Biscotti Day.
That's all right.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's National Coffee Day. It's not National Tea Day. It's National
Coffee day.
Yeah, but we got tea, so we're bucking the trend. That's what I just
We've
said.
got the biscuits, though.
It's National Mocha Day. Now, mocha as in, I think, something to do with the coffee thing.
That's
I'm
every
thinking.
day, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
For most people.
And it's World Heart Day.
It's what?
World Heart Day.
Nice accent there.
Thank you. And I've already looked at this day in history, and it was pretty boring.
Oh, what was that?
So I'm not even going to get into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But if you've got something of importance going on this day, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd like to be able to let everybody know about it. Although I do actually have this day in music, but I'm going to wait till Phil comes on for
Yeah.
that.
We need to, keep
That'll
that
be-
for Phil.
That'll be a good one.
These biscuits I've got, this is very strange. So I brought in, well, we don't even know how to, I don't even know how to describe a Jaffa cake. I just don't know how to, let's show this to the camera. It's not a cake. It's not a biscuit.
This is the show where you shouldn't have to describe what a Jaffa
You
cake
can't,
is.
yeah, it would, yeah. Well, here's the interesting thing. So I brought in custard creams and I brought in Jaffa cakes. Then I found this article that started with, custard creams can kill. And Jaffa cakes, relatively harmless, survey reveals. Now, basically, they called it a disturbing probe into the potential for apparently innocent biscuits' ability to do harm, has revealed an astounding 25 million Brits have been injured while indulging in some light coffee tea break snack action, with 500 victims requiring hospital treatment from a biscuit each year. So, I'm going to scroll down because you don't need to read all of it because we want to know. The most dangerous biscuit is a custard cream.
I'm risking my life right
It's
now.
the crumb. People choking on the crumbs. I think Claire Jane choked on a crumb last week. She'll let me know because I was like, I have a biscuit. She don't want to choke, and I think she did actually choke.
I haven't had a custard cream in forever. That was very nice.
Oh, did you?
Second one will
Did
kill
you not
though.
eat them last week?
No. I don't know where they were. I didn't even see them last week.
So then it goes all the way down. You know, a wafer's pretty dangerous. Chocolate wafer. Rich tea's dangerous. Bourbon. There's a lot of people, you know, and then try and retrieve a biscuit that's, when they've been dunking, falls in the cup and then burns. Someone said they had a biscuit in their eye. And it works its way down, oat biscuits, and then digestives, your ginger nut, your shortbread.
So the further down the list, the safer they
The
are.
safer they are. Anise biscuit, iced biscuits, those party rings, and chocolate fingers, and Jaffa cakes.
Are the safest.
The safest. How weird that I buy both of those.
We have contrasting. We've got the most dangerous biscuit on the planet next to the.
It's like if you close your eyes
safest.
and we spin the plates, it'd be like Russian roulette. If you get a bit of custard cream, you're in trouble.
Who knew that the British were so risky with their lives?
It's hilarious.
We just live on the edge right here.
Yeah, you're living on the edge if you eat
Oh yeah.
custard cream.
I feel like There should be some sort of like hard rock music. Well, Phil should be playing it for us.
And then Britain's dropping biscuit tins on their feet is another injury. Poking themselves in the eye with a biscuit. Not a blunt stick, but with a biscuit.
Yeah. Very bizarre.
Is that ridiculous or what? The stuff you find, but they did poll people. That's what I find even funnier, is they actually went out to poll people on that. In case you didn't know this piece of information, by the way, there are a lot of English biscuits that are vegan.
Mm-hmm.
People who are vegan, and it's chocolate chip hobnobs, rich tea, bourbons, Tesco's dark chocolate digestives, Lotus biscuits, which I think is the Biscoff, isn't it? Ginger nuts, and Fox's dark chocolate chunky cookies. They're not cookies, they're biscuits. Get it right.
Biscuits.
The
They're
biscuits. In case you didn't know this, Sir David Attenborough is now on Instagram, and he's broken the record of the sheer amount of people that have followed his account within 24 hours, and he's beaten Jennifer Aniston, the record. He's 94, as most of you probably know.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a great naturalist, and thinks it's a...
So what number did he get?
They said it rose to 2.5 million within 24 hours.
Wow, just like this show.
Just like this show. And he's just behind Cristiano Ronaldo, who's got 238 million.
238 million
Followers on Instagram.
That's ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
How could you possibly reply to everyone? You couldn't. But he thinks
Well,
it's
you
a
wouldn't.
fantastic way to get the word out about how people can get involved with issues and make a difference.
It's great.
He's adopting new ways.
So I think we're probably going to dive into our...
BFF.
No.
Ali?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we'll go that way round.
Go on then.
So, as you guys may know, Alison Ward joined the team of Spill the Tea last week and has been doing, a couple of little reports out there for us.
Out and about.
Very, very nicely done. And so we have her filing this week. She's just filed with us. Actually, it was fairly late last night.
What time?
I don't know.
Well, when you don't have good Wi-Fi, as my mum says, it can cause you a bit of a problem when you're trying to send files.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So actually, this is an event that happened a couple of weeks ago here in Las Vegas. We all went to a Sunday roast thing.
Can't remember the name of it. Can you?
7th and Carson.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, it was an English Sunday roast.
Yeah, and so we haven't really mentioned anything much about it because we knew that Ali was going to be doing an item on it. So without further ado, here's Ali's Out and About for the week.
Welcome to downtown Las Vegas! On this week's episode of Out and About with Ali, we're downtown in the heart of Fremont Street in the history of old Las Vegas. Take a walk with me. Let's go.
Fremont Street is fabulous. It has a great atmosphere, lots of sparkles and lights, and famous for iconic neon signs and street entertainers like Elvis. Elvis even shot some footage for his film Viva Las Vegas here on Fremont. I couldn't resist a dance-off with one of the street entertainers. Okay, this guy was pretty cool, but then I pulled out all the moves. The robot, the funky chicken, I gave it all I had, and of course, I won. I just love it downtown.
But when you think of Las Vegas, of course, you always think of the Las Vegas Strip. But there's also downtown Las Vegas, and it's absolutely fabulous. There's shops, there's museums, there's a zip line that goes all the way down, lots of lights, lots of busy atmosphere, and most importantly, there are some fabulous restaurants. One of my favorites is 7th and Carson, but today is the big event of the calendar year. It's a British Sunday roast, 4 courses of fabulous British food, and the room is full of Brits. Let's do it, let's go in. Let's go and have a chat to some of the Brits.
Hiya.
We've
How are
got,
you?
introduce yourself.
My name's Bill.
Bill, Katrina, I'm Dawn.
We're from Liverpool.
Scousers in the house!
We've got all our friends here from Philippines.
We turned out in force to be fed by the fabulous team at 7th and Carson, and oh did they provide the goods.
How was your Yorkshire pudding?
We love it.
Very good, thank you. I missed the full thing because we went to
demolished it, so it's too late.
And out of 10, we give it a
10.
10. Yeah.
10. Amazing, thank you.
Nailed it.
Well done. Thank you, guys.
I just love it downtown. In fact, let's go over here. Because us Brits, when we go abroad, we do it right. And I have to say, I personally have a British flag on my car, as do everybody who's turned up today. We've got a Union Jack here on this gorgeous car. We've got one here that says Brit Vic, very British. We even have, wait for it, a cab! And it's white, it matches me. A British cab. And then there's this one, my absolute favourite.
I managed to grab the owner for a quick chat.
How are you?
Welcome to Solomon Carson.
Thanks for having us. What a fabulous day.
Beautiful, right?
They all turned out.
Unbelievable.
Us Brits are very patriotic.
I think it was the best turnout from a special event, which was short notice. We decided 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and we had 55 people show up.
Sold out.
Sold out.
I think there's more Brits in there than when I go home to me mum. Because we're just a little Vegas club, aren't we? And I love downtown. Downtown's a fabulous hotspot. It is. And 7 and Carson has always been a favourite of mine. But now that you've given me a British Sunday dinner, it's my number 1 favourite. We have the fabulous Mary Wilson with us.
Hello.
And she is not only fabulous, she's a big fan of all things British. Isn't that right?
Well, yes.
Yes. Especially the food.
Especially men. Don't
Great friends. We've made friends with all the Brits, but it's been a great afternoon,
Good,
hasn't it?
good.
Okay, we're giving it a thumbs up for 7th and Carson.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mary.
Thumbs up all round. 10 out of 10. Happy people, happy bellies, and my heart was full of joy from meeting so many new British friends here in Vegas.
Cheers to a fabulous day here at 7th and Carson. Well, it's safe to say the Sunday roast here at 7th and Carson was a success, and I can't wait to come back next time. Up until now, see you next week. Let's go. Bye. I love that white taxi.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, we had a nice afternoon, didn't we?
We did. That was a great day. But Ali did a fantastic job
She
with
did.
that piece there.
She really did.
Yeah. Captured that, and the license plates.
Yes.
Do you know whose car that was?
The one that's
the Alex.
Alex.
Silent B.
If that's your car, please let us know. Craig Murin has the. I can't do a show ever without whacking the mic.
No, it's tradition.
Craig Murin, he has a really good plate, and I can't remember what it is. It's one that I thought would have been gone a long, long time ago.
Right.
I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Craig, tell us. I've forgotten.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was.
There'll be more of those, I guess. Those get-togethers.
We hope so. So thanks to Ali for that, and look forward to her next episode. So now, moving on, we're going to be doing a section. Actually, we're going to be running a little sting that we haven't done for a very long time, only because we've just remembered about it rather than always just spinning past it. So in advance of our guest today, we're going to be doing a section called "What Are You Like?"
Yes.
Yes.
What are you like? What am I like? So, what are you like guest today is Phil Soussan. I'm going to call him bassist extraordinaire, but there's so much more to Phil. He's a songwriter. He works in film. There's a lot, and we're going to talk all about it right now. And I'm so glad that Phil came on. And it was very short notice. We threw it together, and it's going to be fabulous. So, Phil, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me here.
Do you like that bassist extraordinaire?
I do like that.
Do you laugh when some musicians or singers that give themselves those taglines, like the voice?
Well, it has to be a little bit tongue in cheek. I mean, I've always taken a bit of a dim view of people that refer to themselves in the third person. I'll fall short of that. So I'm not going to say, well, Phil Soussan wouldn't take that very lightly. That kind of stuff always sort of kind of, I don't know, rubs me up the wrong way.
Yeah.
So now to give it a little bit, expand on your achievement somewhat. You've played and been in a true rocker for your entire career, and played with everybody from.
Well, I don't know. There's something a little that you may not know about, Phil.
You played as a rock and roller for a little part of your career. Shall I carry on?
Well, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit first.
I was just about to tee it up.
Oh, all right. Go on.
Because
then.
everyone's like, wants to know.
Go
so
on, then.
he's played with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes.
Billy Idol.
You don't even know how much I love Ozzy Osbourne. You have no idea.
He's currently in a mega group called Last in Line.
Yes.
Which has some amazing members in that.
Oh my
band.
gosh, yes.
You co-wrote the hit. The Aussie one.
Shot in the Dark.
Shot in the Dark.
Yes.
Co-wrote that.
Yes.
And have been very involved with the Grammy Awards as well, which I know we're going to touch on a little bit later as well.
Lots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a lot more that I don't know, which Sam's about to.
I did my stalking.
I was trying to remember. Just so you know, I had to battle my way through protesters outside that are members of the Las Vegas chapter of the Chad Embassy, who are infuriated that you haven't heard of them. And they've got placards out there saying, we haven't heard of Sam either. So,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So we're even. We're totally even.
Between that and the Michaelmas celebrants who
Oh,
were
do you
gathered,
know about that?
What, they were gathered outside the Chick-fil-A, like, it looks like a miniature, like, Vatican, right? They all spread
Perfect.
6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Some of them spilled over into the Starbucks next door because they want to also take advantage of the International Coffee Day or whatever it was.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, you're quick.
Yeah.
You're quick,
He's-
Phil. He's pulling it all
Phil's
together.
Phil's been watching the show.
He has.
I have
He's
been paying attention.
to the
You're
show.
the one.
Yes, I'm the one.
Well, I mean, that's a very short list that we've mentioned, but I want to show some more very famous faces that you've worked with. So let's run this. It's a very short little video. There you go. That's your most current.
That is
group.
Last in Line.
That
right?
is last
Yes,
in
that's
line.
Yes.
Last in Line.
Absolutely.
And who do we have in as a lineup in Last in Line?
Well, local boy Andrew Freeman. Actually, he's not local, but he lives here now.
Right.
So he's Andrew's our singer. Vinny Appice
Yeah.
of Black Sabbath and Dio fame.
Yeah.
Right.
Wonderful drummer. And, of course, the legendary Vivian Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also
Def
plays with Def
Leppard.
Leppard.
Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was in the original Dio band. That's where he started.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
this became a natural.
Yeah.
This is how this band sort of came together. It was the original Dio band coming back together after the passing of Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
And they said, well, let's get together and just for good old time's sake and have a play. And it sort of evolved from there. So this is Vivian's, other project.
Yeah.
And Vivian is, of course, he hails from Northern Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. So now, when you think about bass players, stereotypically, they're usually the cool, calm, collected, quiet one in the band.
Yeah, there's not too many bass player jokes. That's why.
But is that true, though? I mean, is that...
We write the jokes about the other people.
Ah, you
Oh,
see,
right.
you're the power behind the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you think of. But I mean, who is your kind of or yours and as an
A bass player's bass
the
player.
that's what I meant to
The
say. The
bass
bass player's bass player.
player.
Who are those names?
For me, bass players,
Yeah.
would come from the bass players that tend to write a lot of melody. They could be singer bass players or writer bass players. I think being a bass player, musically speaking, it's I studied classical music, and really it was about two things. It was about the melody line, it was about the bass line, and everything else was in the middle. And that style of music was called figured bass, and it was something that originated from Bach and continues to this day.
Oh.
And you find that there's a sensibility about people who are bass players and are able to sing, and maybe vice versa as well.
Yeah.
And so I look to people like Paul McCartney. I look to, even if you like kind of more intense stuff, Geddy Lee, people like that. But a lot of these bass players who were writers. I mean, Andy Fraser from Free wrote All Right Now. I mean, he wrote a lot of that stuff, and he was a bass player. He was 15 years old at the time,
Yeah.
very, very young.
Goodness.
Yet there are a lot of bass players who are actively involved in the writing and of music, and they have a great sense of movement between melody and between bass lines. So Those are the people I tend to look up to.
Right.
Less so than just the technical guys. Look, I can do all this wizardry type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
So where would you place like John Entwistle, for example, in that?
John Entwistle was fantastic.
Yeah.
John was he was a frustrated guitar player. I have his book.
Yeah.
I have his book. He was a frustrated guitar player, so he was trying to do on bass what he would like to
that's interesting.
what he would do on guitar.
Well, that makes sense actually, because you think about it. It was just like 10 to the dozen all the time.
Yeah, and he was. I mean, it got to the point with him where I think he had actual like distorted guitar amps. I mean, he had so much distortion going. He was doing all the guitar tricks and everything else.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure to know him prior to his passing through a couple of mutual friends and stuff. So that was a fantastic opportunity. Yeah.
And now you obviously with Ozzy,
yes.
Your time with Ozzy, that must have been quite a trip.
Is that story after story after story?
It's a lot of stories. I mean, the thing is, it's one ongoing sort of practical joke, is what it is. I mean, behind the curtains, it's a lot of humor and it's a lot of laughing and it's a lot of jokes and Ozzy is a practical joker, so you have to have your wits about you a little bit because you can easily wake up one morning with an eyebrow missing. You know? And it has happened to many people. It almost happened to me one time. Yeah.
I can only imagine.
I woke up, the phone rang and very early in the morning and it was Ozzy and he said, "Oh, have you looked in the mirror?" And and then click brr. And I went,
"Oh no.
What the hell's that about?" So whatever, I didn't do anything. I went and looked in the mirror and everything was okay. I got a call a couple of minutes later. "Well, have you looked yet?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" Click, brr, hangs up again. And about the third time I went to look in the mirror, I went, "Wait a second, there's a little bit of an eyebrow missing." He'd snuck into my room after having slipped me a Mickey the night before, paid off the doorman, got into my hotel room, and started trying to shave off an eyebrow. I had sort of woken up in a haze, saw people standing around, sat up apparently, and said, "Oh, it's only you." Okay, went back. But that scared them. They all left. And I had this vague memory of waking up in the middle of the night. I thought, did I dream that? So I almost lost an eyebrow, but I did not quite.
Oh, my gosh.
See, that's the sort of dream I would have, that Ozzy Osbourne would creep into my room and shave off an eyebrow. But I mean, that would really be just a bizarre dream. That would never happen, except in your world.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, the understanding was that once it was done, there was nothing you could do about it for about a month.
That's right.
That's true.
Unless you just get a big felt tip.
Oh, yeah, you could Sharpie it in, couldn't you?
Shave the other one off.
Shave it off.
Right?
That's right.
And then you'd look like powder.
Mick Karn or something, right?
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Does anyone know who Mick Karn is? Yes.
Mick Karn.
Remember the band Japan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
okay.
around with us anymore, sadly. But he was a great bass
Well, thanks
player.
for raising that, you know. I'm just messing with you.
Expat.
That's true. So
Lovely
now,
teapot, by the way, I have to tell
thank you. Appreciate that. That took hours of loving work to get that.
Beautiful.
Oh, look. Teapot cam.
Teapot.
We're ready to use it.
Absolutely beautiful, that is, isn't it?
Thanks, mate.
Fantastic.
Carry on. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Amanda and I provided an entertainment for Ozzy's 60th birthday when it was held here at Il Molino, at Patrick's restaurant.
Nice.
And so we got to kind of, be there on the night. And once he got to his favourite song, Italian, it was like a classic Italian trio. Not sure why I'm doing bass, because I'm sure.
Classic Italian.
Yeah. He got him to play it like 4 times in a row.
Because he loved it that much.
Yeah, it was the song that he and Sharon used to like to dance to. And it was like Volare or something, one of those kind of songs. But
wasn't Paranoid, was it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love that song. I love that.
We found ourselves in an Indian restaurant, surprise, in New York one time, which was up on top of the plaza. Do you remember there was a place called, I think it was called the Nirvana restaurant? And we went up there for a dinner one time, and they had a sitar player.
Oh, nice.
And he was a real Indian sitar player, sitting on the ground playing the sitar. And after Ozzy's had a few drinks, he's over there. Where is he? And he's trying to teach him Paranoid. No.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
That is fantastic.
Anyone seen where he's gone? No, we noticed the table seemed very quiet for a moment.
I would love to hear that on sitar. I bet that would be fabulous.
I'm sure we can arrange something.
Yeah.
Oh, you posted that thing this week on the page with it was Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears, but he's playing it on a
dulcimer.
Dulcimer?
Yes.
A dulcimer.
Now there's a story behind that. So the guy that's playing the dulcimer plays this Tears for Fears song. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. it blows up. It's huge.
Yeah.
It obviously gets to the guys in Tears for Fears, and next thing you know, they're showing up at his farm, and that's the video. They sat on
right.
this swing, and he's singing it, and he's playing, and it's fabulous. I'll
very
send you a
nice.
link if you
Wow.
haven't seen
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
Sounds good.
I
It's
like
really
a
good.
little twist and a hybrid on certain songs and what have
Oh,
you.
yeah, no, absolutely.
But I would love, some Black Sabbath on guitar.
That would be good. That'd be good. Now you've obviously performed all over the world and in many different illustrious events. I'm sure many sort of sellout stadiums and that's kind of a given in your world. But I gather there's an unusual show that you performed once in a slightly smaller, more restricted environment.
Ah.
Is this
I
a
think I know what
test?
you're
Is
talking
this a
about.
test for Phil?
Are
Yeah.
you talking about when we played? I played Wormwood Scrubs with Ozzy. Is that the one?
That's the one.
Yeah, yeah. So we did a show. It was right after Zach, after we found Zach, and Zach had joined the band, and this was a one-off show that we did as a bit of a sort of publicity thing, I guess, or whatever. But we decided we were going to play for the lifers at Wormwood Scrubs,
Oh my gosh.
which was quite interesting.
That's cool.
So I mean, this is a place which is filled with a crowd of people that are probably not going to go anywhere.
Oh my.
So
It's a captive audience.
It's
Well, yeah.
definitely a captive audience. But
Captured audience, actually.
Captured.
But what was quite funny about it, I mean, there was probably, I don't know, maybe 160 or 170 of them.
Yeah.
When we were playing the show, I remember looking around and counting all of the prison guards, and I think there were 8. And all of a sudden, it occurred to me, I thought, if this can go horribly south all of a sudden. There's only 8 people here,
Yeah.
and there's 160 or 100. Anyway, they were very nice. I mean, and everyone has their stories. But one of the things was that we were going to rehearse because 2 of the guys were guitar players and they were going to come up and play with us.
All right.
So we went in there a few days ahead of time to rehearse, and they, like I said, they were nice, and there was this old guy with I remember, a very droopy nose, and he'd walk around and he'd make incessant cups of tea, and come out with a tea tray, and he'd shuffle around with the tea tray, and he'd go, cup of tea, and I mean, we were drinking so much tea, it was ridiculous. And finally, somebody said, well, what's he in here for? And someone turned around and said, well, he poisoned his entire family, wife, kids, and everything. And there was a unified mass expulsion of nasal tea. Right at that moment, it was like,
Nasal tea.
Oh my.
so,
Yeah. Well done.
so that was quite funny.
Have you written a book yet?
I am writing a book.
Funny you should say
Actually,
that.
I've written the book. I am in the process of rereading and rereading. When you write a book, you have to keep reading through it.
Yes.
And so I'm doing that. I haven't got a publishing deal for it, but I think I'm going to publish it myself.
Self-published, yeah.
Yeah, probably through one of the famous self-publishing outlets.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's done, and it's really good.
Oh, when it's
dare I
ready, you
say it
let us
myself.
know, because we'll let people know.
Absolutely, it's funny, and it's not just about me. I mean, nothing could be more boring than I did this, I did that.
Yeah.
It's like, what was it like growing up in England during the 60s, during the 70s? What was the music like? Who did I want to play with? Who did I play with? And
Yeah.
and some personal stories thrown in as well. And so I think it's, I moved here as well. I moved
Yeah,
to the
it's a
States, and so
huge thing,
there's
yeah.
all of that encompassed, as well as stories about the people I worked with. So I think it's going to be it's a good book. It's entertaining.
Right.
And oh, by the way, can I give a quick shout out to my dear friend Frank Coe, whose
Absolutely. You're
70th
up here.
birthday
Oh, happy birthday.
was actually yesterday. Frank
Aw.
used to run the Funny Farm in Chalk Farm in London. Do you know the Funny Farm?
I do, actually. I've heard
Very
of that,
famous
yeah.
bar. It was
Yeah.
a musicians-only speakeasy.
Yeah.
And if they
Oh.
knew who you were, they opened a little window, they'd let you in. If they didn't, it was
Right.
like, bugger off. And if you walked in there, it was a who's who of the music industry.
Yeah.
It would
Wow.
open about midnight or 12:30, close at 7 in the morning. It's
Yeah.
great.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
wonderful.
Frank, happy birthday,
happy
mate.
birthday to Frank.
I think people really enjoy to find out how everything started.
Yes.
You look at people that are famous and you go, well, that wasn't their life always. But you were born at age 0.
I was.
Yes.
Yes, funny enough.
And Phil said his life was wonderful up until the age of 3 because then you had to go to school.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, although you've got your school tie on today.
School tie.
Yes.
So you're obviously
Birthday.
missing
I
something.
went to William Ellis in Highgate.
Oh, there
But
you
this
go.
is not my school tie. My school tie would have been blue and yellow.
So was mine.
Was it?
Yeah, like that sort of. Yeah,
That's it.
That's it. We'll have a
But like
punch
that
out.
sort of pattern, but in blue and yellow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so was mine. I actually have mine still.
Do you?
I do.
Phil Phil's going to punch your eyes out.
Yeah.
So
Punch your lights out.
There's a lot of rivalry between schools in London.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So now you also played with Billy Idol.
Absolutely.
How was that? I mean, was that a good band to play in?
It was great because we were really good friends, and it was completely by accident, and it was a very strange sort of coming together. I write about it in the book. We found ourselves at an event, at a charity event, and we found ourselves at dinner the next day, and then the late Randy Castillo, the drummer with Ozzy, and myself, went to Tahiti, to Bora Bora together. We found ourselves on the plane, and Billy was on the plane.
Oh.
Billy was at a hotel that we landed at, and
How
when we
weird.
were finally on Bora Bora, he was right next to us, much to the chagrin of his significant other, Perry, who was looking for a vacation to get him away from everybody.
Oh, and everybody was there.
So anyway, we were there for a month, and during that time we became best of friends. And then he said to us, "I'm thinking about putting a new band together. I'm tired of my old band, and do you want to do something?" And so that's how that came about.
Oh,
and I
right.
worked with him, and it was we did the Charmed Life album.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, he's such a character. He's almost of that sort of Keith Richards sort of. It's going to be him, Keith Richards and cockroaches will suffice. And you go,
Throw Sharon
because
there
he's
while
had
you're
so
at
many
it.
kind of bike accidents and everything.
Yeah,
and,
that bike accident was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, and he is a character. He's like a human caricature. I mean, he really is. I mean, he's like, you know, there's all of that stuff that goes.
But it's funny. I was expecting. Oh God, I don't even know how many years ago. Many years ago.
Right. Try not to date yourself there.
Well, yeah. Amanda and I were at an event, and he was there. And we I actually have a picture that I just grabbed before we came on air, which shows how old this is. So that's,
look at his face kissing that snake.
Yeah, so that
Look at your
that is
face, Ian.
I know. I was trying to do the hard rock and roll look, but it doesn't really work on me, does it? And interestingly, do you know? Do you recognise the tattoo or that arm, perhaps, of the guy in the denim jacket? Who that might be?
Oh.
No.
You get an extra cup of tea if you get it right.
Is that you? Is it?
Or a Jaffa cake.
No, I'm in it. I'm the one with the snake. So who's the one in the
to the left,
that we
far
can't
left.
see him?
I don't know. Who's that? It's a pretty big
Well,
guy.
there's a clue actually on
John
his
Miller.
arm. No, there's a clue on his arm.
Lemmy?
Yes.
No way.
Lemmy.
He didn't.
I guessed it from the bullet belt, actually, not from the tattoo.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I see.
I'm having
yeah.
a tremendous deja vu right now.
Are you?
You know when you have those things? And
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Wait a second.
You've
I
done all
think
this before,
Yeah.
including eating a Jaffa cake. Do you want Jaffa cake, Phil?
Whoa.
They're safe. Don't have a custard
The
cream.
custard
though.
creams will kill you.
You know,
It'll
I mean,
kill
every
you.
time you do anything in this world, you take your life into your hands. I mean, now we've got to wear
Risk and
masks.
reward.
We've got to
Yeah.
wear masks all the time. You can't go out. I mean,
Yeah.
they're terrible car accidents that happen, but, you know, you still have to go out and drive and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
screw it. Have a custard cream then.
I love one of these.
Live
You're just trying to shut me up, aren't you?
Don't try and get us to explain
guys.
the Jaffa
But
cake.
the masks are important. You have to wear
Yeah,
masks.
they are.
It
They
reminds
are.
me of that joke. Do you remember the joke about the Russian who came to live in America, and they asked him what was the first thing that he did when he came to America, and he said he bought tampons.
No.
And they said, why is that? He said, because I look on television. If I have tampon, I can cycle, I can go swimming, I can go skydiving.
And these are all the things I want to do.
These are things you can do. So now if you have a mask, you can go out, you can do things.
do all these things.
Hilarious.
Right.
That's hilarious. That tickled me there. It
Ooh.
tickled me, Phil.
Aren't they good?
Brilliant.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
You keep them to yourself over there. Don't worry about
I'm going
me.
to. I have a habit of doing that.
I'm living dangerously.
You have that. But listen, let me tell you about Phil.
Yeah.
Classical music was a big part of your life. You played violin. Mm-hmm. How did that serve you as far as like where you are now? Does it make you look at music very differently?
I think it gave me an understanding that I wanted to know more about music than just playing the bass. Mm-hmm. I wanted to know about melodies. I wanted to know about instrumentation and arrangement.
Right.
I think if you have a classical background, it really helps with arrangement. You know, when you play with great musicians, there's not a lot of arrangement. Everyone works together.
Yes.
But sometimes when you're working on solo material, that's where that comes up.
Yeah.
You know, you start finding... it's really a great exercise. Like, everyone should do a solo album. They should play on their own material, play everything as an exercise. Because if you're a musician, it really leaves you with a great understanding of your craft.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. It's just a fun experience. In fact, I have something for you here.
Oh, you do?
I have
Oh.
for each of you.
Shut up.
What?
Ah, you see, I
Yeah,
love
a
music.
couple copies of
Music?
my solo albums.
Oh, this is
Wow.
wonderful.
Now, these are
Check these out.
yeah.
What was it like doing your very first album? Though, Did you feel exposed? Like,
Exposed, is that a joke on the Vince Neil album? Oh, because I wrote a lot of that record.
oh yes, that's right.
There
you
we go.
did.
There they are.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm excited.
Yeah, the first one was the blue one, and then the white one was the second one. They were done over a long period of time. And what I write, that's all stuff which is it's not hard rock stuff. It's basically very commercial stuff. A lot of it's found its way into film.
Oh, wow.
But I'm very proud of the songs that I
Nice.
writ on those things. So
We
anyway,
will
I just
get
thought
that
I'd-
playing. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Was it easy to write the first album? You know how some people say, I wrote that song in 5 minutes, or how long did it take from beginning to this?
First album was a collection of songs over a period of time that I was amassing.
Right,
So it took a long time, and they're a little disjointed because of that.
right.
The second album was written at one sitting, so to speak.
Gosh, that's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've got
It's
a
called
couple
No
of-
Protection. It has nothing to do with condoms.
Um,
So
I've,
you're
I've
doing
got,
comments. Oh, you know what?
no, I've got a question here, and I'm just trying to find it because it goes back a little bit.
You know what? Can you give a shout out to my brother-in-law, my baby sister, David and Siobhan?
Microphone,
Huge
Sam.
fans of yours.
Microphone.
Oh, sorry, yeah. In fact, you can do it. Camera 3? No number camera.
No number camera. That
Sorry,
one.
am I giving it-
Siobhan and David. If you just give them a shout out, they'll just lose their minds.
When? Now?
Yeah.
Hi, Siobhan and David. Here's a little shout out for you, to you.
When I said that you were coming on the show,
Yes.
they were like, "What?
Ah.
What?" Yeah.
So we got
they were
two
so
questions here.
excited.
We've got Amy Vickers. She's saying, what's your favourite tips and tricks for bass playing?
Well, I started doing some of those on YouTube and
nice.
posting them up there. And then I sort of held back a little bit because I might be doing something with a bass company, and they had suggested that they would like to do something like that. So rather than carrying on, I figured I'd just hold it out.
All right.
But you know, the thing about a lot of the bass lessons that I see, they tend to assume that you need to learn how to play this line or how to play that line. I always focus more on techniques and developing what it is that trying to iron out bad techniques, and then find techniques that are unique to you and grow on those.
Yeah.
So I do things that are slightly different from other people. They're not right, they're not wrong, they're just different.
Right.
And it takes a teacher to have a look at what you're doing and pick up on those things and point them out. So that's probably the most I could tell you in
All right.
a few
Yeah.
seconds about tips
Sounds
and
good.
tricks.
Sounds good. And David Hoyland says, "Hi Phil. What's the weirdest place you've ever played a gig at?" I think probably Wormwood Scrubs has got to be up there.
Wormwood Scrubs, yeah, I think so. I don't know that I've played any. I've played in some very strange states, but that would mean not sober.
I was going to say mental states or actual
Yeah.
states.
Right. But that would probably that would be the weirdest gig, I suppose.
Yeah, right. And David's also saying, "And one sign for me, please." I think he's talking about your CDs here.
Well, you know what? I could give you a set of those that you could do in a giveaway or
Oh,
something.
that would be good.
Or you
Wanna
could
do
just
that?
sign mine and I'll give them to David. He's my brother-in-law.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
whatever you like.
Thank you, Phil. My brother-in-law. This has made his life right now. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, well.
I am telling you that right now for real. I don't know where my baby sister is. Maybe she's teaching.
So now, moving to a slightly different sort of gear, you were the former vice president of the Grammy Awards, the the Los Angeles chapter, and that's a big thing. And I know that you're an advocate for rights and also relative to the music cares and and all the things that the industry can really do in terms of outreach as much as what it can do for itself.
Yeah.
So is that something that obviously was very important?
It was important.
Time for you.
My dear friend Randy Castillo, I mentioned before, was Ozzy's drummer, and he became very ill, and unfortunately he passed after a long battle with cancer. And Music Cares came in and was able to help him out a lot. And because of that, I think I wanted to find out more about Music Cares, and I wanted to do something for Music Cares. So I started looking into the Recording Academy, which is also known as the Grammys, also known as NARAS. It's the same thing. And I started looking into it, And at first, I mean, I was a voting member, and I thought, well, how do I get on the board? And it's a very strange process of sort of positive thinking.
Yeah.
You know, when you really want to do something,
Yeah.
you keep it front and center, and then all these little decisions sort of guide you in that direction. And before you know it, I've put myself up for nomination to the governing board. I'd become nominated. I'd become voted onto the governance board, and then I became a chairman of the advocacy committee. Once I was on that board, I started to find that I was much more interested, not just in fundraising events for Music Cares, but in the advocacy of rules and laws for the whole music industry.
Yeah.
A lot of technologies, as you can see, streaming technologies, all these new technologies coming up, and at the time we were still wrestling with CDs and piracy and what have
Yes.
you.
Right.
And it's the first people to the tap that get, that start dictating what the laws are. So you need to have that voice, and you need to have a unified voice. So I would go to DC, lobby Congress, and lobby House representatives and stuff. At the time, we were lobbying for the Performance Rights Act, which I'm glad to say President Trump finally passed as the Music Modernization Act.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been going on for 100 years, literally 100 years.
Wow.
And every single administration said, yes, we'll do it. It was finally done. So that's been great for the music community. So this is, and eventually from that I became vice president. I was elected to vice president 2 years. I did 2 years chapter for that. And then I would either become president or trustee. At that point, I put in a lot of time, and it was a lot of time a week.
Yeah.
So I just decided to bow out gracefully.
So now, we've all been through the various kind of starting off with vinyl and then CD and then MP3 and now streaming. I mean, how does the industry as a whole move forward? I mean, where is it at now? Is it still as buoyant as it used to be, or is it something that they're still trying to find the best way to manage these different ways?
It's constantly in flux.
Yeah.
It's constantly.
But you knew where you were with vinyl. You knew where you were with CD. They were tangible. They were things. You could count them.
Here's an interesting other side view of this. If you went back a decade or 15 years and talked to musicians, they'd be complaining nonstop about how the fact that they never made any money from records, they never made any money from their deals. The record companies made all the money. They took everything. They were permanently trying to pay back these ridiculous advances.
Right.
They went out on tour,
Yeah.
and after doing a year's sold-out tour, came back to find out that they were $1 million in debt.
Yeah.
So that old world paradigm had to end. It couldn't continue.
Yeah.
Right.
When it changed, everybody felt like the rat in the cage with the wheel taken out, not knowing what was going to be put in next.
Right.
And so it's had to evolve, and it's taken some creativity for people to get back to what they want to get back to. I will say this: prior to the COVID pandemic, what had happened is everything had now become about the live show, which is what everybody had been screaming for a long time.
Yes, that's right.
You couldn't duplicate the live show. You couldn't replicate it. You couldn't bootleg it. And the music simply became an instrument by which you would invite people to the live show.
Right.
So going back in the day, what did we do? We did concerts. We had headbands, lighters. We had T-shirts.
Yeah.
And we used to give all of those things away to get people to come to the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Now what we do is we give away the T-shirts and the lighters and the headbands and everything, so that they come to the show.
Right.
So it's simply a change of what's the word I'm looking for? A change of juxtaposition of the business.
Yeah, yeah. So now, but the thing is, it's like, well, in that sort of like where everybody's kind of taking it on their own rather than having to rely on the record labels as they existed. I mean, is that something where the big record labels are going to be able to adjust to that, or do you think ultimately it's going to be all about individual bands basically managing themselves and putting their own distribution out there, because that's kind of where it is right now? It's all YouTube.
That's how you kind of did that in a really great way, and it kind of one of the first was Arctic Monkeys from Sheffield, by the way.
Of course.
But they took matters into their own hands and said, we're going to do everything ourselves. And it clearly paid off. But it moves very quickly, don't you think? Next, you're with a record company, and next thing you know, you're doing it yourself. Next thing you're doing your own merch. Then, I feel like it's always changing. I don't know if it's the same experience as, You know, for example, we would go to a record store on a Saturday, and we would, you know what I
It's
mean?
a very alien experience to most kids.
Yeah, we've lost a lot
Nobody
of that
does that. They're
experience.
like, why would you go to a record store?
You know, looking at the artwork on the album, there was a big deal, you know,
yeah.
to look at that and go, oh, you know, I've got the first one. It came out today. You're excited. But
Is it going to keep going in that direction, where that sort of self-empowerment of groups, do you think?
I
or-
have no idea. I mean, especially with what's going on right now, who knows? Some people have been great at managing a career on their own. I mean, Joe Bonamassa, for example.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a self-contained entity.
Yeah.
And it is possible to do that. I think that it's possible for any band to come right out and take it from point 0 to point A on their own. I think there is an advantage to being with a major record label at a point where you are big enough to be with a major record label, so that they are able to do something for you and you're able to do something for them. But the traditional record deal, I don't think is
you don't hear
100%
about
necessary, is it?
Yeah, no, I don't think it is.
I mean, I'm talking about doing my book and putting it out myself.
Yes.
Do I need a publisher?
Exactly.
And I think that's
Yeah,
the way
that's
to
right.
do it.
If you have an audience, you can market it.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
can market to that audience, right?
Yeah.
And if you're of that kind of business mindset too, I mean, you've got to really know what you're doing. You know, or be that type of person that
I've never known what I was doing, so I don't know if I go along with that one.
or just care. Well, some people don't want to do it all themselves. You know, I think you've got to be of the right mind, because
Yeah.
it will be work. You know,
There's definitely more to it. I mean, when I started out, it was like, I want to play the bass.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, now I have to be a businessman, a sound engineer, technician. I have to be, understand some basic coding on the internet. I have to. You have to do a lot of things. But maybe that's the same for a lot of industries too,
It is
right?
now. It is now. I mean, there are. It's a very high percentage of people that work from home, making money from their computers because they're doing it all themselves.
And we talked about Claire Jane, who's a good friend. Of course, she makes my stage clothes. She makes one of my unique designs.
That's so good.
There's a great example, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a great example.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember her starting by waking up one day and saying, "I want a bag like that. I'm going to make a bag." And that's how it started, and so I was there from the beginning, and having to teach herself everything.
Yeah,
You know?
well,
right.
But it is very empowering. I think when you've got control over it. I think if you did get a record deal, you'd have to really understand the business of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you hear a lot. Like you say, bands come back after a year and go, "Oh, we're still in debt." What? I thought we'd be rich.
How does that happen?
How did that happen? So you've got to have an understanding of that.
So now you're writing a book.
Yeah.
And you're doing another album?
Yeah, started writing some songs for a solo record. We actually are doing a Last in Line album at the moment.
Yes. In fact, we had a question here from Tim Roberts. He said, is there a title for the upcoming third Last in Line album yet?
Do you know what it's called?
Well, he doesn't.
Neither do I.
Oh. So you don't have a name for it.
So the album...
We don't know. We don't know.
Here it is. It's official. It's called We Don't Know, everyone.
It's going to be called the Jaffa Cake
It's going to
Chronicles.
be. We haven't addressed it yet. We haven't decided what we're going to do yet. We haven't decided what it's going to be called yet. And we will probably know once it's done.
Right.
But the good news is we've got about 6 songs done for it.
Nice.
So that's cool.
And you've got equally as many for your solo album right now.
No, I've got 2.
See, now I knew that, so I was teeing you up for that one.
I've got a lot of ideas, but it's strange with this pandemic situation. Now that we've got the time to do all the things we want to do, we don't seem to have the drive to do anything, the motivation to do it.
All the people who are going to
So I
clean
get up-
their houses and stuff, and they haven't.
I do yard work.
Yeah.
I brush the pool down. I do stuff around the house, lots of odd jobs. I find other things to do, and then it's like, I better go and do some music.
But those two are, it's all about quality, not the quantity.
It's
They're
exactly right. If you saw,
perfect.
If you saw my yard right now, you would not be using the word quality.
Would it not be an English garden to be proud of?
Not really, not right now. With
Now,
120
you're
degrees.
living in Las Vegas now.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
and
exciting.
You're fairly recent move
Yes, I only moved here at the beginning of the year.
from Los Angeles.
Yeah, I was working here at a show called Raiding the Rock Vault for the last few years.
What a
That's
great
right,
show.
yeah.
So I was spending a lot of time here, and I've always spent a lot of time in Vegas. I like it here.
Yeah.
And then it became time. Sadly, Los Angeles is just not the same place that enchanted a lot of musicians 30 years ago or 25 years ago. There's no real music community there anymore.
That's a shame.
It's very much changed, and so, it's a sad thing, but it's really different now. And when I go there, I just sit. There's hardly anyone left there.
Do you feel like
Right.
you don't belong?
Yeah,
Even though
just
you
feel
did-
like,
you were there.
I mean, I feel like I've belong, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very odd.
Although you did have trouble finding this place today, because our studio is on West Sunset Road, and you got a little confusion with
I thought it
with
was
bars basically, didn't
no,
you?
right. It's Sunset. I went Sunset, and then I live close to Rainbow, and I think I don't know why I associated the two, put them together, and went, oh, it's just around the corner because the Rainbow is on Sunset Boulevard, right? The Rainbow Room,
The Rainbow
Bar.
Room, which is a very iconic
Hey!
venue.
Michael Maglieri's place, and Mario's. He's not around anymore, but. And without thinking, I went, it must be just.
But we
around the
have
corner.
Rainbow Road, of course.
I know.
And so you were thinking Rainbow Road and Rainbow and Sunset. Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
Rainbow. and
Easily
Sunset.
done. Easily done.
But you made it here in time, unlike Sam. So that's
yeah.
that's just.
And
worth
that was
noting.
that was in spite of or despite. I never know the correct meaning.
Spite.
In spite of.
Yes.
In spite.
Yes.
No, despite all the Michaelmas celebrants, which I had to
Right.
wrestle.
Yes,
You got here before I did.
Yeah.
Well, you were an original member of Beggars and Thieves. You were near the beginning, though, weren't you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think they had the band before I joined, and then, but I came in for that Beggars and Thieves album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a funny little connection.
Yeah. What's
My
that?
husband
Yes.
did all the horn tracks for Beggars and Thieves later on.
Oh.
On the newer albums.
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
and he's a classically trained saxophone player. Isn't that wild? People like classical on saxophone, but it's amazing. But yeah, I think it's a small music entertainment as it is.
Right.
It's a small world, but the connections and stuff. So he did the horns and stuff on that. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Now, so the newest band, Last in Line.
Yes.
No one wants to be last in line. How did that name come about for the band?
Came from a Dio song called Last in Line.
Ah, right.
And I think Vivian coined that name, but he somewhat regrets it now because at the time it was just for a bit of a laugh and a good time. And now that the band has evolved into something that's really quite serious, he might have rather called it something different. So, but it is. Everyone likes it. Last in Line. I think it's a great name.
Yeah.
I love the track. I love the track.
Yeah,
Last
I
in
listened
Line.
to a
I
lot
thought
of
it
the
was
stuff
cool,
last night.
so.
But he can sing.
Andrew's killer. He's great.
Amazing.
Yeah, he really is.
It
phenomenal.
energizes you, yeah?
Yeah.
Drive
So have you
fast
been
when listen
tempted to
it.
do any kind of virtual shows?
Yeah, actually, we're looking into doing a pay-per-view concert, which we're just starting to do a bit of research on, but it'll be a unique kind of experience. It won't be just a traditional kind of concert. It'll be more of, we're going to add something more intimate to it, some more communication with people.
Come and do it right here in the studio.
Oh, we need to give you the
That'd be a bad
tour of the
idea.
whole
There you go.
place.
All right, we'll take a tour of the studio because we're actually looking into stuff right now.
There you
Yeah.
go.
But we'd love to do that.
We've got a new big video wall and everything.
I know. It's huge. It's huge as well, isn't it? It's
Thank you.
massive.
Well, we do a chat show every Wednesday on.
Yes, it's got a great name.
Sickness. Which is another name of a Last in Line song, The Sickness. So it's been picking up a huge audience, and that's why we thought maybe what we should do is do think about doing a streaming concert or something.
Yeah.
And anyway, so
we'll
see
talk
how
about that
We'll
then.
talk about that.
Yeah.
But it's a different time, I mean, all the people I've played with, and I've played with some fantastic. I can't imagine, and some of them, people like Johnny Halliday. I mean, he's not around anymore. Sadly, what a legend that guy was. But I mean, could you imagine? I mean, how could he have concerts anymore? I mean,
Right. Well, yeah.
Oh,
this is all gonna.
Here's the interesting thing. I would say that music has been the most important thing during this pandemic because it's the one thing that people have enjoyed.
And musicians have been the most suffered through
They
this
have
pandemic.
suffered the most.
They can't do anything.
They've been forgotten. There's not much talk about what's next for them or any entertainers. But it's the one thing that people have thoroughly enjoyed when they've seen it on Facebook and a live stream.
But then they're all starting to, like, Facebook is starting to kind of ratchet down on.
Yeah, there's some
what can
weird
be
thing,
done.
like something about you can't put it out there for your fans. Huh? What? It's bizarre.
Yeah, I think.
It's
I mean,
bizarre.
I think they were targeting more sort of online DJs where they're just playing lots of other people's music rather than necessarily if it's your own music or even cover bands. I think to a degree might.
I mean, it's a tricky thing as well because did you ask me about that music on that little video for Phil in case we got shut down?
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I know,
Actually.
and that is a challenge as well. I mean, it's I didn't steal that music from anyone, by the way. I had the rights to use it, but I mean, I've had friends who've it's their original material and it's got shut down.
Oh, but that happens all the time. I mean, I've had my own songs pulled.
Yeah.
And then you have to write a letter and say, no, this is me. This
That's
is my
right.
moment.
Yeah.
You know.
And by the time you've done that, I mean, we had that on one show
We did.
last year, and by the time they kind of shut it down, it was like a little clip that we used on
Elvis.
of Elvis.
Yeah.
But it was relevant because it was from the Viva Las Vegas
Well,
movie.
I want to win
and
this race.
Yeah, we were.
You have an Elvis connection, don't you?
What was that?
Don't you have didn't you play with the French Elvis?
Johnny Halliday.
Right.
And I was in a movie with Priscilla Presley.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Ford Fairlane.
You see, now we're looking for all of that
all
stuff.
that stuff. You were doing your research.
She was very, very nice. She was very lovely. And Wayne Newton was in it as well. And he was just the most charming person I think I've ever
Yeah,
met.
that's
Oh.
amazing.
And you've done a lot with music and film.
I did. I became a music editor for feature film. I did some re-recording, which I thought I would like, which I hated.
Oh.
But I became a music editor, which I loved. In 2008, when the financial crisis hit, my sort of music editorial job went with it. So,
Right.
But I enjoyed it for about 3 years. I worked on quite a few films.
Yeah.
You're also a mechanic, aren't you? You can work on
Love
motorbikes.
working on motorbikes, absolutely. In fact, Danny Count Coker and I connect on that level.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you also like sport fishing.
She's
He's getting scared.
It's like the FBI over here, isn't it?
He's getting a little scared.
Yeah.
How'd you get into that?
Yeah, you know, how do you get into it? You get in a boat.
morning.
You get on a boat, and then you go out to the ocean, and there's not many oceans around, so my sport fishing career has been somewhat.
Yeah, we have Lake Mead. That's about it.
It's not very.
Not
it's
the
not much of
same.
an action
Yeah,
sport. I
you're
mean,
more likely to
sport
drag
fishing
somebody
is
up.
an action sport.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, the other one is just sort of, lovely
Yeah.
weather we're having today.
Yeah, wait for
Yeah.
something to happen.
People, wading around in there with their, in parts dangling in rubber waders and stuff. I don't know if it's.
Actually, you can find that on the strip. If you go to the right place.
Anytime, any day.
Well, listen, it's been great having you today.
you.
We've got one
Thank you
more
so
thing I
much.
want to show because
of
Phil's got
course.
3 loves of his life,
What's
and we're
that?
going to show 2 of your loves.
Go on.
And these are your fur babies.
Oh,
Lila
there they are.
Magoo and
My
Henry the
goodness.
dog.
Harry the dog.
Harry the dog. That's the one thing
Not
I
Henry.
got-
You're getting your princes and kings all
I
muddled
am.
up,
I'm
aren't
getting
you?
them all messed up. Now,
Ah.
your dogs are rescues, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Oh, they're lovely.
Yes, they're rescues.
So they're,
One-
they're
once-
a big part
once-
of your life.
Yes, and my dear wife Jen, she and I are very active with the dogs.
Lovely.
Harry's more Jen's dog, and Lilo is more my dog, I think. So
Isn't it funny they have a little attachment to
he's
you,
she's a Tamascan.
Yeah, we just talked about that
Yes,
earlier,
very,
didn't
very
we?
obscure breed that came from England, I guess. But they're both rescues.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're the best dogs to get. They really are.
They are.
But it's nice to know something outside of music, like your sport fishing and,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. The real
Yeah,
person.
yard work, cooking. I like to cook.
Do you? I have a feeling you do yoga.
No,
No.
not doing any yoga. I go to the gym. I cook.
That's your thing. One of
Yeah.
the things you love.
Yeah, in fact, I had a little series. It's only about 5 episodes on Instagram, which was the COVID kitchen, the 59-second gourmet.
Oh my
So I
God,
was
that's
doing
great.
these cooking things in 59 seconds, which was fun.
What did you cook?
Just some of the things that I knocked together, but I could continue it possibly, but
I could
it's
put like
another-
a tomato on a lettuce leaf in 59 seconds. That's about all I could
You
do.
did all right with your pavlova, Ian. You did okay with your pavlova.
I did.
Actually,
And-
you won our cooking
The-
series.
Yes, I did.
We had
the
a-
the video edit was 59 seconds, but the actual making was about 4 days. So-
Right.
Oh, I don't know how much time we have. How much time do we have?
Well, the network's about to kick us. No, they're not. You can say whatever you want
I've got
to
a
say.
little story which is kind of funny, which
Go on.
combines food as well. Johnny Halliday, Brits will probably know who he is. Nobody knows who he is over here, but 4th biggest selling artist in the history of music, period.
Really?
Unbelievable,
Wow.
right? Anyway, I worked with him did about 4 albums, and he had an all-British band. So there was Ian Wallace from King Crimson on drums.
Oh, wow.
And there was Jim Prime, played organ from Deacon Blue. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
And we had, who else? Phil Palmer, who played guitar with Dire Straits.
Oh, wow.
Shane Fontaine, who played guitar with Springsteen, and now with Crosby, Stills, Nash. Robin Le Mesurier. Do you know Robin? Played with Rod Stewart. He was John Le Mesurier and Hattie Jake's son.
I was going to.
No.
I know the name.
Yeah. So he was
Oh,
our
how
guitar.
interesting.
He was the MD and guitar player, and we had a great
funny.
time. But Johnny loved music, and he loved food as well. So we would always go out for these dinners, and we would go do these huge shows. I'm sure you can find stills of them somewhere. And a huge 20,000 crowd, lights. I mean, great big stage sets and big trapdoors open, lights shooting out from it. And all of a sudden, he's standing there with his guitar silhouetted, and the crowd goes nuts. And we start this intro, and he would do the same thing every night. He'd wander over to me and lean over, and he'd say something, and then, come on, then we go and play. And people would say, what did he say? And he'd come over to me every night and go, are you hungry? And I went, what? Looking around. I was just thinking, rather peckish. We're going to this restaurant afterwards. They have this great place. There's these great pastas. You want to go? Yeah, sure. Okay, let's get this done. And that's what he'd say to me every night. It was brilliant. And you see on the videos and everything, you probably think he's going,
Yeah,
rock and
let's
roll.
rock it.
You're just talking about.
Are you
dinner.
hungry?
Yeah, I'm a bit peckish. I love that.
That's fantastic. I'm going to look that up now.
So food and music always go together.
Yes.
If music be the food of love, play on, right?
Play on.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Oh, it's been great.
What a perfect way to end that up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Do you want
brilliant.
another Jaffa cake before we
Oh,
say bye-bye?
I might take that whole lot
Have
of them.
them. Honestly, it's fine, because we've always
wrestle
got
them
a
out
ton
of
of
your hands.
biscuits around. So.
Just keep the Micklemas.
Yeah, keep them away.
Keep away from that.
Thanks so much, Phil. It's
been lovely.
Thanks, Ian.
Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
Very
having me.
interesting.
Before we go, we do actually have to mention our good friends at the British Corner Shop.
Yes, where you can get all your
'cause we
bits
haven't
and
done
bobs.
that. Make sure you go there and put the code in, spill the tea. And in fact, the link you can click is on the description of the show today. So you just click that link, and you'll be helping the show out. And also, I believe for your first order, you get £15 off any order over £75.
Which is easily spent.
£75 in weight? Or
Yeah, exactly. So £15 off. I keep getting
£15 off us over £75.
Exactly.
Purchase.
what's
They
that,
ship all over
20%
the
off,
world.
isn't it?
It's enough.
Is it 20%?
Let me get my abacus out.
That's why we're in entertainment and not mathematics. But anyway, thanks so much, Phil.
It's
Appreciate
been
that.
wonderful. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll come back and see you some.
We
can see you again
definitely
sometime.
want you to come back with the
For
book,
sure.
the next album,
sure.
the whole
And we'll be
thing.
sharing the live stream show, the pay-per-view one.
Yeah.
We'll buy it and we'll make sure we have it on our page as well, so our viewers can see it.
Yes,
Well,
we'll
we'll
do
have to
that.
talk about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see how we can
Oh
work
yeah,
this.
because we've got 3.5 million viewers, so we can't.
Still a very formative. We're just, like I said, we're just putting this together right now, so we're
All
looking
right.
into it.
Yes.
Exciting.
Well, you heard it here first. on
Yes,
Spill
you
the
did.
Tea.
Yep.
Another exclusive for Spill the Tea.
Yeah, maybe I'll have lost this beard as well. I hate this.
Well,
I like
COVID
it
beard.
though.
Yeah, it's a COVID. You know, everyone.
It's a
everyone-
COVID beard.
Everybody grew a beard for this thing. And
They did.
as I was saying, what am I shaving for? You know, we were saying that earlier. Just trying to
Where
keep
am I
Gillette,
going?
Gillette
where
in
am I
business.
going?
I shave for this show, and that's
Yeah.
about it, really.
And I put my choir boys dress on
Yes, you
once
do.
a week.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Very fashionable.
Thank you.
Now, I
Yeah.
always have to ask Sam, is there anything else now, Sam, before we
Let
wrap
me
it up?
double
Because as soon as
check.
I try to wrap
I
the
always
show
have
up,
a lot.
she's like, no, I've got like 3 more things.
I always have a lot, but I think I covered
Good.
just about everything.
That's a first.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, thanks, Phil.
Great.
Travis, thank you so much.
We love you,
Oh,
Travis.
he started it already.
He's trying to
Thank
get
you,
rid
Travis.
of us.
So we will see you guys on Spill the Tea next week. And thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.